cleanup stuff to do. But as we leave and wrap up here, we just got to get together with all you guys and kind of let you know what we saw and kind of how we're going to proceed from this point on. But first and foremost, Sheriff, thank you. You got a great staff here. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, obviously, and they make you look good every day, and that's all we can hope for as bosses, is that we got people that just make us look good every day. Absolutely. And you got a great crew here. As far as accreditation managers go, Brenda's as good as I've dealt with, and you know, you've got the luxury of having her in that position, and this is her second on-site now, and I can't imagine that the next one's just going to be even better with her in that same spot. So you've got a real gem there. She's done a great job. Everything we've needed from our very first contact, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 weeks ago when we first started speaking, up to just a few minutes ago. I asked her for something, and boom, she popped it right out and handed it to me. So everything has been spot on. No issues at all there. The hospitality has been over the top. Everybody's been just wonderful. Good. So that being said, there, just real quickly, just the process. You guys, you all know it because this is your 8th re-accreditation. So it's just what you guys do. And I pointed out to Lynn on the elevator when we came in. There's a little map of what floor has what, and it says on the 3rd floor it says accreditation underneath there. And you will not see that in many places because it's just part of another unit. You know, they just handle accreditation. It'll be in the inspections unit, or it'll be in the admin unit or something, but very few places have the word accreditation right on their map, so to speak, of the floor assignment. So that to me just speaks volumes. That's what you guys do. That's what the agency's about. So it's that ingrained there that you have it on your elevator. So it's that was impressive. CALEA then they get together with you guys. They select a team. It was Lynn and I that were selected, and they don't select assessors from any states that are contiguous with the candidate state for obvious reasons, and they try to select people from similar agencies. And we're both from sheriff's offices, and so we have a lot of the same issues, a lot of the same politics, and we kind of know what goes on in sheriff's offices around the country. So we then reach out to the accreditation manager. This was a Power DMS on-site. Both are first for Power DMS, and so it's all electronic, so to speak. And I was a bit resistant at first because I'm the old school guy. After 40 years of this, you know, it's all, I still like writing stuff down, which drives people nuts, but I still like doing that. So it took me some getting used to, and I wasn't real fond of it, but it grew on me as the weeks progressed, and it's pretty cool, actually. I like this Power DMS system and this whole paper-free, for lack of a better term. And then after we review the files, there's 482 files we reviewed. After that, during that procedure, there's a public hearing, which was held Tuesday night, I believe. Only one speaker, which to me is not negative at all. I look at that as extremely positive because you service about 535,000 people, give or take, and they all had a opportunity to come speak, good or bad, and if they were displeased with you guys, they had an opportunity to come tell us that. Nobody did. So I assume you have 535,000 happy customers. Of course you don't, but you know, most of them are. And one gentleman from the Highway Patrol showed up, Lieutenant Nichols, spoke very highly of you guys and the work you do with them and the interaction between the agencies. There is a phone-in session, which was yesterday for 2 hours. We received a handful of calls, a couple colorful calls from one individual who they tried killing him in the hospital, and he ran it on about how somebody put a DNR on his hospital room when he was asleep, and he woke up and his wife was killed, and obviously he just had some issues, some mental issues, and he just rambled on, and your secretary knew him because he called in one time and got a hold of her, and it was just, he's just not a well individual, and we talked for a while. And a second guy who wasn't upset with the response he got from you guys, but he just wished you could have done more for a little neighborhood issue he had, and he realizes you guys did what you could have done. And then we had several calls from people that were just in the law enforcement profession that were very pleased and couldn't say enough good about you guys, and one from a woman who just called to say that she's lived all over the country and dealt with law enforcement agencies kind of everywhere, even down where I'm at. And she said she's never had a better group than you guys. I don't know why she has so much interaction with law enforcement everywhere she goes, but I didn't get that part out of her because most people don't. But she had nothing but good things to say. So that all went very well. And we make some community contacts. I got a few more to make today, and again, all positive stuff, which will culminate in a final report authored by me that will be sent to the commission and for their review. Real simply, not to drag this on too much, but I did about half the chapters, Lynn did the other half, and I kind of stay with the organization, the authority, the use of force stuff, kind of the personnel, the fiscal management, the real boring stuff. And I go through all that. I had no issues with any of that. Use of force policies were tight. Everything was good. The fiscal management was tight. Personnel, no issues at all. Everything went very well. As far as grievances, discipline, all that's good. You do your analysis. I know that talking to Brenda, you guys had some training and on analysis and kind of how to do a better product, and I could see a marked improvement in a couple of first analyses in the first part of this cycle, and then the next part of the cycle when the analysis really got really good. So you guys are doing it on the right track. They were doing a great job with analysis, and then the last couple, Sergeant Perrin did one for use of force this last year that was really outstanding, really good job, and so that's kind of the direction you guys are going, which is excellent. I looked at recruitment, selection, no issues there. I looked at the Homeland Security chapter, which a lot of agencies have issues with, struggles with. You guys did not. When I first got the stuff from Brenda and I started looking at it, you had nothing to show as proofs in the file for events during the 3-year cycle. However, before I got here, you had a fire, and I believe it was in Harrison Township, and which turned into a big event. And so now I do have a good write-up on that because you went with the whole process as you should have. She got me a beautiful after-action, all breakdown of all the events that took place. So that was good to see, and it was good. It's good to see that I've got something now to back up what you guys say you do, and you drill it, and you have your tabletops and your drills. Well, it all came to fruition in this fire event, so which was a good thing. Internal affairs I looked at, no issues there either, other than your crazy sergeant there. But besides him, no issues. He's a hoot.
He is.
He's a funny guy, but good shop there as well. Communications we looked at. We didn't look at it from a accreditor standpoint because you guys have a standalone CALEA communications accreditation. But I think enough of that section. I always make it a point. We didn't even have to go out there and look at a certain thing, but I said to Brenda, I said, I do want to go out there because I want to tour the area, the facility, and I want them to know how important we think that function is. I do personally, absolutely. And so we did go out there, got a great tour by the captain on that facility. Excellent, a nice facility out there, good shop. I mean, really squared away in a nice building, and the whole things were really nice, and the people had a good idea what was going on out there. And then I ended up with property. The two ladies downstairs do a great job in property. You guys know, it's no secret that property can bite you in the rear end and cause you real serious issues. I was just telling Lynn that one of the agencies in my county, I just did a mock for a couple months ago. They just found out the property evidence clerk was stealing drugs and money out of the property. She'd been there 25 years, and they found like $300,000 missing and a couple of thousand pills. She ended up getting fired. She was indicted. She was criminally charged, but they had all the processes in place to do all the inspections. They just had a rogue employee that you get it from time to time, and not a whole lot you can do about. But they had the processes in place to find that in the audit procedure and the audit trail. So it worked out well for them. So the property can really be a problem. So you guys, although she's very full down there, her room is full, the shelves are full. She knows where everything's at, and she's bound by space limitations, and that is what it is. But they do a great job down there. And Lynn, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Thank you. This has been a great experience for me. I've felt very welcomed, and feel like I've known you guys for years, and that's pretty amazing in just a few short days to build those type of relationships, and so that says a lot, Sheriff, for your people. And thanks. Brenda's team has been absolutely amazing to work with. It's been a great experience. There's a couple of things that I've seen that I think were outstanding. One of them was how you deploy your patrol areas and having evidence technicians there and investigators right there with the guys, and it's a real team approach to solving some issues, and I'm gonna try and steal that idea and implement it somewhat, and because I think it allows for some great training of personnel and a knowledge base that really sets you guys ahead of other agencies as to what's going on there. Your youth program, the STARS program, your PAL, school resource, all of those seemed very impressive, and the interaction, what was in the file was impressive stuff that's happening there with the kids. And you're obviously living CALEA. You know, it's just the way it is, and I think your people know that and understand it, and it's not just a program, it's a way of life, and that makes a huge buy-in and a huge difference there to see that interaction. I'm impressed with your reaching out to the other agencies, trying to get them involved, be part of your task force, your SWAT team, all of that. You know, that's what sheriffs are all about, I believe. Yeah. So, and that's an important part. So it's been very good. We found a few real minor things in the file. I met with Brenda on them and talked, and my goal was to just say, let's tweak this a little bit so you'll be better in the future, and if you take those suggestions, hopefully you will be, and maybe you'll find something else that's even a better way to do it. But it was nothing that I think rose to a level of worry or concern, and so this is fun. It is a piece of cake, you know, to go through and see what your agency does, and this is good duty when you get to come to a place like this and see these things and interact with your people. Yep. I was with Deputy DeBar last night, and my first impression when I walked into the room changed 180 degrees as soon as he said, "Come on, let's go." You know, just a visual look. I was off base, and I was very impressed with him, his concern and his interaction with the people we met with and talked to. You know, it would have been very easy to blow some of those people off because there was nothing we could do in a couple of situations, you know. But he made a difference to them and made it seem like we were treating them like gold, and I was very impressed with how he interacted. Just the comments and little things he said and the way he interacted with people, I was very impressed with. And so if you picked him to be a shining star, you picked the right guy. So
I think that's Captain Roy's guy.
He's one of the older guys. He's really only been on the road. He's within his first year.
Yeah.
So that's a first-year employee he rode with, and he's already bought in.
Yeah, you could tell that was not my impression when I walked into the room, that he was a senior guy and maybe carried a little attitude with him, but his attitude was the right attitude, and it was fun, you know, just down to earth, good people. So thank you for this experience.
Thank you. And Lynn will. Lynn is right. This was a fun job. It was clean, for lack of a better term, as far as issues go. When I do a final report, I have to report on several things, what they call file maintenance. Those are any issues, minor things if they didn't have a piece of paper in a file, or in this case not paper but electronically. Things were missing that the agency already had, and they had to go out and retrieve a copy of this or find a copy of that and put it in a file. Those are, quote, file maintenance issues. I had as many as 77 on an on-site, so we had 0 here. So, I mean, there's a huge difference there. Applied discretion is a term we use in this business where you had to rewrite a policy, add something to a policy, actually write something, change a procedure, add to a procedure. And generally, when you get up in the double digits of applied discretions, that warrants a phone call from me to the commission or to the accreditation company. And a talk with the program manager about different issues, and we thought we may have had one here. As it turns out, we don't even have any applied discretions, and it was just an issue on electronic property, how you seize it, and what we determined that you guys were in compliance, excuse me, with the standard, but we suggested you might want to just add a little language to it that would just tighten it up as far as handheld devices go, instead of like laptops and desktop computers. So I believe that's being done or has been done, and that's only gonna. It isn't because you were out of compliance, because you weren't. It's just with all this electronic nonsense we're all dealing with now. It's just a way to shore up your policy a little bit tighter, and you guys have done that. So it's not an applied discretion thing, and I've had as many as up to 20 applied discretions at an agency. So you know, you guys have had good on-sites all along, so it's kind of like how it goes for you guys, and you guys kind of expect that, and you're lucky. But they all don't go this good, believe me. I packed the team up and left after the first day one time. We went back to the hotel, packed our stuff, changed our flights, and we flew out the same day we started. It was that bad, and the people were that nasty and miserable, and we packed up and left.
Wow.
So they don't all go this well, and so it actually is a pleasure. It really, really is. And I went last night in Jefferson Township and rode with Deputy Shepard. He was interesting, to say the least, and we had a great time. He full of get up and go, and really took care of business. He knows his area because everybody we stopped, everybody knew this kid. They all knew him by name, and they all hollered his name. And on the scene of the big neighborhood ruckus we had with the gun involved and that craziness, everybody riding by or walking by would say, "Hey, Shepard, what's going on? Hey, Shepard, this, Shepard, that." They all knew the guy. So obviously he spent some real, quality time out there. And we rolled up on the scene. It was pretty frantic. There was people running everywhere and fighting all over. And there was no doubt who was in charge when we rolled up. It was Wes Shepard was in charge. And that was really good to see. And because a couple of other agency people were there that really probably weren't doing a whole lot. And we got it all done real quick with him. So he really took charge, and there was no doubt who ran that scene. And then your guys showed up, and the cavalry came up, and there was no doubt. Good work. We got to see, twice I got to see your forensic guys working, because we handled a burglary right before that. And the forensic guy rolled up, did his little fingerprint photograph thing, and then at the scene of the fight, he called for them, and a different guy showed up and took some pictures of some guy got hit with a bat and punched out. And had a few bruises and scrapes, and he took pictures of that, and so it was, and we saw that in the static. It was nice to be able to see it all wrapped up in real time, so that was nice to see too, and that worked well. But I put together at this point a final report, some 30 to 50 pages in length. I send it into the program manager, who forwards it to the commission. Now, the disclaimer I always have to say is that the commission has the prerogative to grant you guys re-accreditation and or not. That'll be at the next commission meeting. I'm not sure where you're going. Where would you be going for your award?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, okay. And in Albuquerque, they'll decide whether you're re-accredited or not. I can't make that decision. Now, having said that, this will be my 55th final report that I'm sending in, and they rubber stamped the last 54. So I doubt they would do anything but rubber stamp this one as well. The only thing I would say, Sheriff, is probably the only issue that I can see, and I like to kind of look ahead to any issues you might see, is the number of minority hires you have versus what your available workforce is. So, and I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard that, and that'll be presented. And the fact that you only hire certified individuals really shrinks your available workforce pool. So that's I'm not saying that's an out, because it's not. That's not the right term, but it kind of would justify some of the numbers. So that would be the only thing I can. A commissioner, I'm trying to put on my commissioner's hat and look at this report. There's just nothing in this report that's going to warrant any discussion or questions other than, great job, Sheriff, keep up the good work. That's the only thing I can see. So, and I'm sure you'd be prepared for that. So,
Appreciate it.
but that's kind of the whole thing. If you got any questions of us,